Kilo George 9 Delta. Kilowatt George 9 Delta. Over.
Roger, roger. What's the name there, sir?
Roger, roger. What's the name there, sir?
Okay, the name here is Norm, Norway, Ontario, Radio, Mexico. Norm's the name, okay?
Roger, Norm. And what's your location, sir?
Roger, Norm. And what's your location, sir?
Okay, I'm located in a little town called Lillian, just like the lady's name, Lillian, Alabama, and we're just next door neighbor. Go ahead.
Okay, just looking around for the best antenna system. I was copying you pretty much through the Georgia SDR. Come back and give me about 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and tell me about your antenna system so I can look around for a better path.
Okay, very good.
I can look around for a better path.
Okay, very good. Now for a little while, and Bandicoo's ours beginning. Jim, we're running a Ten-Tec Omni 7 with a 709 dynamic microphone. The antenna system I'm using right now is a half-wave M-fed 130-foot wire. M-fed 100. Speed points about 10 feet in the air, and then it goes up into a tree, 35 feet up, and then back down a little bit, sort of a oblong-looking inverted V antenna, if you will. And my secondary antenna is a high-gain AV640. A high-gain AV640 vertical, which is up on a 15-foot galvanized steel pipe. And that's a pretty good antenna, and then fed 3/8 wave on most of the bands, so pretty good GX antenna. Anyway, we're on the wire. Seems to be copying you better on the wire right now, which I'm going to put up a little bit higher when my brother-in-law gets here with his drone. We're going to fly it up in the air with a drone and get it as high up as we can. So, how's that there, sir? KG9D.
Roger, now you said you were on a Ten-Tec 907, is that a Roger?
Roger, now you said you were on a Ten-Tec 907, is that a Roger?
A Ten-Tec 709 microphone, and the rig is a Ten-Tec Omni 7, an Omni 7, okay?
Roger that. And you're down in Alabama, is that a Roger?
Roger that. And you're down in Alabama, is that a Roger?
That's a Roger in Alabama.
Okay, do you know where your tone control, your EQ is?
You know where your tone control, your EQ is?
Yeah, I have a transmit EQ at a minus 6 dB, minus 6 dB.
On which one? Do you have a 3-band EQ?
On which one? Do you have a 3-band EQ?
No, just one EQ. It's got a receive EQ and a transmit EQ. It's TX EQ is saying minus 6 dB.
Roger. I'm not familiar with that, equalization procedure, but if you know how to give yourself a little more top-end EQ, I would suggest you do so to increase your intelligibility. You know, you need to be just a little brighter than what you are, Roger, for increased intelligibility.
What you are, Roger, for increased intelligibility.
Okay, let me roll it up here while I'm talking. That minus 6 dB now. I'm going to run it up. Let's see, I'm going the wrong way. This is minus 10 dB. Did I go the wrong way? Go ahead.
It's looking better. I think I would run it like that. Sounds pretty good. Like I say, though, you might consider. See, normally you would have like a 3-band EQ or a 2-band EQ or a 10-band EQ, something like that. It's not usually that you would have one fixed EQ position that you would just adjust one knob that would give you, everything, Roger.
Knob that would give you, everything, Roger.
Yeah, okay. Now there's not a 3-band EQ in this. It's just one EQ for transmit, one for receive. The sideband TX bandwidth is on the top is 3,000. TX roll-off is 100 hertz. 100 hertz on the bottom end. Let me roll up this TX a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to take it up to. Let me take it all the way up to. I think I'll take it up to. That's as far as it goes, Jim. This is minus 20. Go ahead.
Okay, I see your top end increasing there, your audio top end increased. I would drop it down just a little bit less than that. No, that might be too thin.
A little bit less than that. No, that might be too thin.
Okay, I got it down to minus 15. Minus 15. How's that sound?
I'll buy that. That sounds pretty good. I've never actually run across a radio that EQs that way, but by hook or crook, we've wound up at the right place, Roger.
Hey, but by hook or crook, we've wound up at the right place, Roger.
Well, one way or the other, right? Now, that's all Ten-Tec has on the Omni 7.
Roger. Now, I would go to my ALC and double-check my level, particularly when we've made these big excursions in EQ. Your level would have shifted, so you need to reset your ALC level at mid-scale to 2/3.
Your ALC level at mid-scale to 2/3.
He has since come out with the Omni 7 Plus. I haven't seen one or used one, but they're supposed to be a 7 Plus. I don't know what the difference is. But that's all we got. That's all we got. Marketing, but that's all we got. That's all we can do with this 709 dynamic microphone is what we're using. Go ahead.
Roger, I think it sounds great. I don't have the best copy on you in the world, but from what I hear, it sounds really good. So I would run it like that. Like I say, just double check your ALC to be sure that your level is mid-scale to 2/3.
Be sure that your level is mid-scale to 2/3. Foxtrot Sugar.
Foxtrot Sugar, stand by just a moment, please.
Foxtrot Sugar, stand by just a moment, please.
Okay. ALC LED flashes. Just as a flash. There is no ALC meter, go ahead.
Roger. Well, with our setup, your flashes will occur more often. It doesn't. All it means is that you're a little heavier in your audio, so your flashes will be more often as we increase your dynamic range. Actually, depending on phraseology, what we're doing is converting your dynamic range from, say, I think it was like about a 5 or 6 in the beginning, that we're moving that towards a 3 dB dynamic range, which is a nice range for transmissions of the human voice by radio, and that means that your average peak modulation probably goes from about 50 or 60% to about 80 to 85% at 3 dB dynamic range, Roger.
85% at 3 dB dynamic range, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Do you think I need to bring down the TX bandwidth, say down to 2800 or 2700, you think?
No, never. No. You want to be 100 to 2900. Be all that you can be. There's no reason to compromise.
Be all that you can be. There's no reason to compromise.
When you start rolling off the top, when you start reducing your bandpass, you start losing the top end as well as the bottom end. Well, the problem is when you lose the top end, your articulation flies out the window. So we want to keep the bandpass up so we can get the maximum nice articulation on the top end, and we can deal through EQ for controlling the bottom end.
Through EQ for controlling the bottom end.
Okay, I can roll the TX bandwidth all the way up to 4K. It's up at 4K right now. Do you hear any difference?
No, I'm not copying that broad. And I would suggest that you not run it that way because you may influence your enemies.
You may influence your enemies.
I think we have a couple of enemies on here now. Somebody came on the frequency. I rolled it back down again. I know the bandwidth should remain at 3K. I just wondered if you didn't hear any difference. I've only had this radio a couple of months. And the TX is back to TX equalization. So I guess that's about all I've got to adjust on this radio, Jim. Go ahead.
I think you got it, sir. I'd get the gorilla tape and taper down. I think it sounds good. I got to move along, Norm. Thanks for checking in, Roger. Have a great weekend, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday, 73 for now, Roger.
Get a chance, join us next Friday, 73 for now, Roger.
Thank you very much for your help, and appreciate that very much. You stay safe, and we'll look for you again. If I can remember Friday afternoon, I'll be back. Take care. 72
Quebec.
KC9D. Bye-bye.